Hello everyone. This time I will record a video, and I try to record the summer video, making a reading of this book that you are watching at this moment. It's a sociology book, very classical, and it's a classic, and he told me that I know that when I try to speak English, or when I speak English, the volume of my voice is different, very different, louder of my normal voice in my native language, Spanish. But at least I try to make this reading in the most calm way possible for the people who is listening, and for me it's also an experience that I want to record. This book, maybe you could hear about it, After Man by Douglas Dixon. Sociology of the Future. It's like a medical book about cryptozoology and so many, speculative ideas about it. Sometimes you can find information that is because like, or explain it like kind of mystical or magical, or I don't know, it's like a vision of the future, but a real vision of the future. As well as some speculation, it has some it has some biological basis on evolution and genetics, and that's the sort of the explanation of this book by the author. Well, I'm saying that because I'm not going to read the first part. I'm going to read scenes from the 30 page, and it will be just a few pages, because well, the first reason is I can't record all the book, obviously, but because the writer, but also it's because I don't want to make ridiculous by reading too much, and to make a mistake or make mistakes reading that. I don't want to do that, and that's why I want to start from page 30. This book is from, let's see, the date. searching for the date, but I can't get. Well, I don't know. It's there is published in the United States of America in 1981. It's not too. Well, maybe it's the newest version. I don't know. I was thinking when I was searching it, I was thinking this was out of stock, but I couldn't reach it. I could get it on. Well, I will try to do my best. Yes, I have many time without speak English and without record video in English. So I will say please forgive me if I'm not in shape with my English, but I will do my best. Okay. I'm sorry if I cough and I'm kind of sick. Oh no, I'm not kind of sick. I'm really sick since a week ago, and it's like, I'm sorry if I say many times it's kind of difficult throughout the word. In Spanish, I use a word so many times with bueno, but I think it's the anxiety, I suppose. I'm nervous about it. I'm nervous about doing this. Okay, this is where I will start. 33. Life After Man. Okay, I will start. I don't wanna edit this first part because I need to relate my thoughts from English to Spanish and maintain it just in English. That's why I will let this in the video. Well, if I don't worry, just please forgive me if I don't do it perfectly. Well, let's start with the reading. Life After Man. 50 million after the age of man, the world's northern continents of Africa, Eurasia, and North America have joined, and Australia, with Australia, to form a single unit. South America is separated from North America as it was in the territory. I'm sorry, I can't remember our former president, Enrique Peña Nieto, trying to speak English. I hope I am not sounding like him. Well, I will continue. The world 50 million years after man is one of the most I can read well. Yeah, okay, that's okay. I will say it again. Okay. Life after man. 50 million years after the age of man, the world's northern continents of Africa, Eurasia, and North America have joined with Australia to form a single unit. South America is separate from North America as it was in the territory. The world 50 million years after man, 50 million years after man is one he will still recognize. The climate, the vegetation are broadly similar, only the geography has changed. Plate tectonics, the force responsible for continental rift, has driven the continents of Eurasia, Australia, and North America together, and turned South America into an island. The animals, on the other hand, all thoughts still fall into the familiar. Classes of fish, mammals, reptiles, and so on are remarkably different, even though they are, in most cases, underlying similarities between them and the species that the man would have known. The most profound differences are in the higher form of life. The birds and the mammals, which because of their adaptability respond rapidly to changing environment conditions by evolving and producing new species quickly. As the Earth's major habitats are broadly unchanged, they cannot be responsible for the changes that have occurred in the Earth's fauna since the time of man. The answers must lie more with the infinite variability of nature and the large number of solutions that exist in terms of form and shape of any one animal in a given environment. Which solution is ultimately adopted bears strongly on the animal's ancestry. If a creature has a particular feature that, in the short term, can be modified to suit a certain role, then that feature will develop in the course of evolution to suit the purpose in preference to one that is hypothetically between but which will have to evolve from scratch. The vacuum created by the means of man provide the stimulus that lead the creation of this new fauna and their solutions to the successful exploitation of the Earth's vast variety of habitats that is described on the following pages. There's a cartography of the world after man, 15 million years after. Just like the explanation of, I will read this page. Temperate woodlands and grassland. Across the northern hemisphere, the temperate woodlands and grasslands form a broad belt encircling the globe, interrupted only by high mountains and seas. South of the equator, temperate habitats are found only in isolated pockets. Temperate woodlands and grasslands are characteristic of the middle latitude areas, where warm subtropical and cool subpolar air must meet. This boundary is not fixed but moves north and south with the seasons and variety deal according to the geographic and relief of the region. In the lower temperate latitudes, the western edges of the continents tend to have hot, dry summers and mild, damp winters, while the eastern edges are warm and humid all the year around with frequent summer thunderstorms. In higher latitudes, the cold subpolar air masses are the more dominant influences to the cold subpolar. I will read that line again. In higher latitudes, the cold subpolar air masses are the more dominant influence. In the general eastward movement of the air brings rain to the western margins, giving drought, humid conditions in both summer and winter. The tropical vegetation in humid areas is deciduous forest, but in places where the rainfall is high and there is a little difference between summer and winter temperatures, evergreen forests of both conifers and broad-leaved trees are found. Most of the tree species present are influenced by soil type and local relief. Pines are found on gravelly soils and rocks, outcrops and and willows on waterlogged soil by rivers and streams. But the main types of tree are oaks, ash, maple, and beech. The characteristic feature of deciduous woodland is the difference between its summers and winters aspect. In the summers, the leaves form an almost continuous canopy, and little direct sunlight reaches the ground. After the annual shedding, I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce correctly that word. I'm sorry. Let's read again. After the annual, shedding of leaves, the tree stands stark, and naked against the wintry skies, and the inhabitants are faced with a new condition of lining and cover as well as of temperature and precipitation. The react of this in many, including hibernation and migration. The discarded leaf matter forms a thick, rich soil and contains their sources of plants and nutrients, rotting plant material, humus, and clay materials. The humus slowly releases nutrients into the soil and also essential minerals such as nitrates and phosphates. The clay minerals store potassium, sodium, and calcium. calcium, important raw materials necessary for the photosynthesis. In areas of seasonal rainfall, where the total precipitation is between 25 and 75 centimeters, grass forms the dominant vegetation. Although all grassland areas have an annual, I don't know if it's correct, period of drought lasts several weeks of months when the surface soil dries out completely. The fundamental characteristic of the total absence of moisture at depth in the soil. The lack of water at this level does not impede the growth of the grass, which is shallow. Sorry. I will read again that line. The lack of water at that level does not impede the growth of the grass, which is shallow-rooted, but prevent trees, which have deep roots, from establishing themselves. The temperate woodland and grassland probably represent the habitats that suffered most during the age of man some 50 million years ago. Man cut down the forest to supply fuel and provide space for agriculture and settlement. He plucked large tracts of grassland to plant cereals and create wide expanse of we'll read it again, sorry. He plotted large tracts of grassland to plant cereals and create wide expanse of pasture land for grazing animals. This starved area did not revert to their natural state until a long time after man's disappearance. This interference causes the extinction of a number of animals generally native to the original habitats. However, some creatures did survive, and it was from this. I'm sorry, I try to make it better. I promise it. However, some creatures did survive, and it was from this that the animals of today's temperate woodland areas descended. There's an example. Well, the first illustration about the evolution of the animal 50 million years after man. So it's more likely that build creature will long ears and short shandy colored coat. The desert rabbit stand no more than 1 or 2 meters high at the shoulder, and it's found in arid areas throughout the world to the south of the temperate belt. This rabbit, the scientific name is Ungulagus flebus. Okay. Heavily built with rolls of insulating fat. The earthy rabbit is found at the far north, in the region of tundra and coniferous forest. Arctic rabbit. The Arctic rabbit has a thick, hairy coat which turns white in the winter. Mountain rabbit, Ungalus scandens. This is the smallest on the least common of all rabbit species, and is found along the western mountains of the northern continent. It is adapted to live in a wow. I'm so sorry, I don't know why I'm reading like this. My brain is kind of playing tricks with me. I'm sorry for that. I will read it again. I'm sorry. I don't know why I am asking for forgiveness every single time I am making a mistake, but I think it's the right thing to do. But can we so? I know. I will read it again. Mountain rabbit, Ungalus scandens. This is the smallest and the least common of all rabbit species, and it's found along the western mountain in northern continent. It is adapted to live in a meager diet of fruit grasses and herbs. Common rabbit, Ungalus sylvicotrix. The forest dwelling rabbit of temperate latitudes, they are archetypical species of the genus Ungulagus. It grows to around 2 meters high. I'm sorry, and it has a Doppler coat which camouflages it effectively among the trees. They are normally found in small herds of between 10 and 12 individuals.